Shalom. Today we're going to be reading Deuteronomy chapter 29. These are the words of the covenant which Yahu'ah commanded Moshe to make with the children of Yisrael in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moshe called all Yisrael and said to them, You yourselves saw all that Yahu'ah did before your eyes in the land of Mishraim, to Pharaoh and to all the servants and to all his land. Your eyes saw the great trials, the signs, and those great wonders. But Yahu'ah has not given you a heart to know, and eyes to see, and ears to hear, till this day. And I have led you for 40 years in the wilderness. Your garments have not worn out on you, and your sandals have not worn out on your feet. You ate not bread, and drank not wine, nor strong drink, so that you might know that I am Yahu'ah your Elohim. And when you came to this place, Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, came out against us to battle, and we smote them, and took their land, and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites and to the Gadites, and to half of the tribe of Manasseh. Therefore you shall guard the words of this covenant, and do them, so that you prosper in all that you do. All of you are standing today before Yahu'ah your Elohim, your leaders, your tribes, your elders, and your officers, all the men of Yisrael, your little ones, your wives, your soldier who is in the midst of your camp, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water, so that you should enter into covenant with Yahu'ah your Elohim, and into his oath, which Yahu'ah your Elohim makes with you today, in order to establish you today as a people for himself, and he himself be your Elohim, as he has spoken to you, and as he has as he has sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, to Ishak, and to Jacob. And not with you alone I am making this covenant and this oath, but with him who stands here with us today before Yahu'ah our Elohim, as well as with him who is not here with us today. For you know how we dwelt in the land of Mishraim, and how we passed through the nations which you passed through. And you saw their abominations, and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were with them. Lest there should be among you a man or a woman or clan or tribe whose heart turns away today from Yahu'ah our Elohim, to go and serve the mighty ones of these nations, lest there should be among you a root bearing bitterness and wormwood. And it shall be when he hears the words of this curse, that he should barak himself in his heart, saying, I have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, in order to add drunkenness to thirst. Yahu'ah would not forgive him, but rather the displeasure of Yahu'ah and his jealousy, shall burn against him, against that man, and every curse that is written in the book shall settle on him, and Yahu'ah shall blot out his name from under the Shemaim. And Yahu'ah shall separate him for evil out of all the tribes of Yisrael, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the Torah. And the generation to come of your children who rise up after you, and the foreigner who comes from a far land, shall say, when they see you, the plagues of that land and the sicknesses which Yahu'ah has sent into it. All its land is sulfur, salt, and burning. It is not sown, nor does it bear, nor does any grass grow there. Like the overflow of Sodom and Amorah, Sesborim, which Yahuwah overthrew in his displeasure and his wrath. And all the nations shall say, why has Yahuwah done so to this land? What does the heat of this great displeasure mean? And it shall be said, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahuwah, Yahu'ah of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Misraim. And they went and served other mighty ones, and bowed themselves to them, mighty ones that they did not know, and that he had not given to them. Therefore the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against this land, to bring on its every curse that is written in this book. And Yahuwah uprooted them from their land in displeasure and in wrath, and in great rage, and cast them into another land, and it is today. The hidden belongs to Yahuwah our Yahuwah, but what is revealed belongs to us and to our children forever, to do all the words of this Torah. Chapter 30. And it shall be, when all these words come upon you, the barakah and the curse, which I have put before you, and you shall bring them back to your heart among all the Gentiles, where Yahuwah your Yahuwah drives you, and shall turn back to Yahuwah your Yahuwah and obey his voice, according to all that I command you today, with all your heart and with all your being, and you and your children. Then Yahuwah your Yahuwah shall turn back your captivity, and shall have compassion on you, and he shall turn back and gather you from all the peoples where Yahuwah your Yahuwah has scattered you. If any of you are driven out by the farthest parts under the Shemayim, from where Yahuwah your Yahuwah gathers you, and from there he takes you. Excuse me. And Yahuwah your Yahuwah shall bring you bring you to the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. And he shall do good to you, and increase you more than your fathers. And Yahuwah your Yahuwah shall circumcise your heart and the heart of your seed, to love Yahuwah your Yahuwah with all your heart and with all your being, so that you might live. And Yahuwah your Yahuwah shall put all these curses on your enemies, and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. And you shall turn back and obey the voice of Yahuwah, and do all his commands, which I command you today. And Yahuwah your Yahuwah shall make you have excess in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground, for good. For Yahuwah turns back to rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers. If you obey the voice of Yahuwah your Yahuwah, to guard his commands and his laws, which are written in the book of Torah, if you turn back to Yahuwah your Yahuwah with all your heart and with all your being. For this command which I'm commanding you today is not too hard for you, nor is it far off. It is not in the Shemayim to say, who shall ascend into the Shemayim for us, and bring it to us, and cause us to hear it, so that we do it. Nor is it beyond the sea to say, who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it to us, and cause us to hear it, so that we do it. For the word is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart, to do it. See, I have put before you today high and good, and death and evil. In that I am commanding you today to love Yahuwah your Yahuwah, to walk in his ways, and to guard his commands and his laws, and his right rulings, and you shall live and increase. Excuse me. And Yahuwah your Lord shall barak you in the land which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away, and you do not obey, and shall be drawn away, and shall bow down to other mighty ones and serve them, I have declared to you today that you shall certainly perish. You shall not prolong your days in the land which Yahuwah is passing over the Jordan to enter and possess. I have called the Shemayim and the earth as witnesses today against you. I have put before you high and death, the baraka and the curse. Therefore you shall choose high, so that you live, both you and your seed, to love Yahuwah your Elohah, to obey his voice, and to cling to him. For he is your high, and he the length of your days, to dwell in the land which Yahuwah swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yishak, and to Jacob, to give them. Chapter 31. And Moshe went and spoke these words to all Yisrael. And he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to go out and come in, and Yahuwah has said to me, you do not pass over this Jordan. Yahuwah your Elohah himself is passing over before you. He shall destroy these nations from before you, and you possess them. Yahushua himself is passing over before you, as Yahuwah has spoken. Yahushua, I'm talking about Joshua here. And Yahuwah shall do to them as he did to Sihon and to Og, the sovereigns of the Amorites in their land, when he destroyed them. And Yahuwah shall give them over to you, and shall do to them according to all the command which I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous. Do not fear, nor be afraid of them. For it is Yahuwah your Elohah who is going with you. He does not fail you, nor forsake you. And Moshe called Yahushua and said to him, before the eyes of all Yisrael, be strong and courageous, for you are going with these people to the land which Yahuwah has sworn to their fathers to give them, and you are to let them inherit it. And it is Yahuwah who is going before you. He himself is with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be discouraged. And Moshe wrote this Torah and gave it to the Kohanim, the sons of Levi, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and to all the elders of Yisrael. And Moshe commanded them, saying, at the end of 7 years, at the appointed time, the year of release, at the festival of Sukkoth, when all Yisrael comes to appear before Yahuwah your Elohah in the place which he chooses, read this Torah before all Yisrael in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the little ones, and your sojourner, who is within your gates, so that they hear and so that they learn to revere Yahuwah your Elohah, and to guard and to do all the words of this Torah. And their children who have not known it should hear and learn to revere Yahuwah your Elohah, as long as you live in the land you are passing over the Jordan to possess. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, see, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Yahushua and present yourselves in the tent of appointment, so that I command him. And Moshe and Yahushua went and presented themselves in the tent of appointment. And Yahuwah appeared at the tent in a column of cloud, and the column of cloud stood above the door of the tent. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, see, you are about to sleep with your fathers, and this people shall rise and whore after the mighty ones of the strangers of the land into the midst of which they shall enter, and forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my displeasure shall burn against them in that day, and I shall forsake them and hide my face from them, and they shall be consumed. And many evils and distresses shall come upon them. And it shall be said in that day, is it not because our Yahu'ah is not in our midst that these evils have come upon us? And I shall certainly hide my face in that day because of all the evil which they have done, for they shall turn to other mighty ones. And now write down this song for yourselves and teach it to the children of Yashrael. Put it in their mouths so that the song is to me for a witness against the children of Yashrael. And I shall bring them to the land flowing with milk and honey, of which I swore to their fathers, and they shall eat and be satisfied and be fat. Then they shall turn to their other mighty ones, and they shall serve them, and scorn me, and break my covenant. And it shall be, when many evils and distresses come upon them, that this song shall answer before them as a witness, for it is not to be forgotten in all the mouths of their seed. For I know their thoughts which they are forming today, even before I bring them to the land of which I swore to give them. And Moshe wrote this song the same day, and taught it to the children of Yashrael. And he commanded Yahushua son of Nun, and said, be strong and courageous, for you are to bring the children of Yashrael into the land of which I swore to them, and I myself am with you. And it came to be, when Moshe had completed writing the words of this Torah in the book until their completion, that Moshe commanded the Levites, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, saying, take this book of the Torah, and you shall place it beside the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah your Yahuwah, and it shall be there as a witness against you. For I myself know your rebellion and your stiff neck. See, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yahuwah, then how much more after my death? Assemble unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, so I speak these words in their hearing, and call the Shemayim and the earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you shall do very corruptly, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil shall come to you in the latter days, because you do what is evil in the eyes of Yahuwah, to provoke him through the work of your hands. So Moshe spoke in the hearing of all the assembly of Yashrael the words of the song till their completion.